Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to #Flint with Shayne, or the Nancy DeKatch Caregiver.
It doesn't
show.
matter. It's the Shayne and Nancy show. How's that?
We're here today.
What do you think of that?
I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm excited about the topic today because it's something that's going to help all of us who are dealing with this water issue and the contaminated lead water that we've been drinking and ingesting without knowing for a while. Today, Nancy and I are going to talk about some little tips, some kinds of meals to prepare to help combat the effects of the lead on your body. Because you can, with proper diet and awareness, it turns out, protect yourself. So,
yeah, it's really true. I became a health coach because I didn't want to be on the sick side, and it's really interesting. I just graduated in July, and I had thank you, and I had no idea where I would be helping people, and it just happens to be in my own hometown.
Yes.
And it happens to be a quite serious issue, and my education is extensive, and so I'm going to help the people in the area and teach them what I know.
Okay.
And so I know a lot, and there's, it's really sad what happened, and we're not going to point fingers anymore. We're going to move past it. The individuals that know about the problem are correcting the problem, and they are making ways to improve the city.
Yeah.
And what we've got now is we have a city full of people that feel betrayed. They're angry. They have new disabilities that they didn't ask for. And, with everything I've ever done, it was always about helping people. So what we've decided to do is start teaching wellness classes. So we're going to do some great shows on recipes and some things like that to help the families out there deal with what they're dealing with. And so one thing is to fight this lead in the blood with nutrition. That's what we're going to start doing. So we hope the community of Flint tunes in and listens to our expertise, and we can help you.
Yeah, that's our goals are to be, we don't want to be looked at as helpless or needy. We want to be solution-driven fighters. And right now we're fighting for our health as well as our children's. And, a lot of people don't realize this. They're pets. How many people in the city have lost pets in the last year because of this water? Healthy pets that would have lived a lot longer. So, it affects everybody, mom, dad, children, and even the family pets. So some of the things we want to do is diet and exercise. Of course, we all could use a little bit more of that, but we need to focus on certain areas. Like what would you say would be a good vegetable, green fruit?
Well, it depends
to
on
add to your diet.
Well, the first thing you want to do is you always want to stay hydrated. So you do want to drink water, and I think I put that on one of my blogs or something, that I don't mean to be sarcastic, but when you say water, people are thinking poison. But you really need to keep yourself hydrated, and you need to do that with water. You need to stay away from sodas, caffeine. Juices are terrible for you, even though people think apple juice, cranberry juice, it's terrible. It's all 100% sugar.
It's from concentrate.
No.
I mean, not from concentrate. Oh, that's what it is. It has to be.
Because it would be better first let's go back to this. You want to stay hydrated. You want to keep a lot of fluid in your body, because the more fluid you have in your body, the more you urinate, and the more that crud comes out. And that's a good thing. You want to pay attention to the color of your urine. You don't want it to be amber color. You want it to be as clear as possible. And that's really a good sign. And, then you're talking about your bowel movements, and people like to talk about that, but that's really important, because you need to pay attention to the color. You need to pay attention to the style of your stool. It needs to be a coil. Right. You need to pay attention to any inflammation you're having. Right, do you have blood in your stool? There's different things you want to look for, and it needs to be a certain color. And so all these things are important things to look for when a person has been accidentally poisoned But the one thing that we're learning from research is that there's two things that you can do right now. And one thing is to take 100 milligrams of vitamin C every day.
Okay.
And one of the the signs if you have too much vitamin C is you're going to end up with diarrhea.
Okay.
Then you start cutting back. But the one thing that you can do is you take 4 to 6 capsules of vitamin C, whatever equals 1,000 milligrams. You want to take that and spread it out throughout the day. But you need to start doing that for a couple of reasons, not just to strengthen your immune system, but also right now we're in the winter months, and it'll keep you, it's an antibacterial type thing, and it keeps your body really healthy to fight the colds and things like that. So you want to do that. You can eat oranges, eat peeled oranges. Don't drink the juice, eat the orange. Peel the orange, eat the orange. Tangerines, the clementines, the grapefruits, the pomegranates, anything like that that has kind of that membrane on the outside. You want to eat that because that is what gives you the fiber. That's why we're not really pushing the juices, because that's all sugar.
Right.
But if you eat the real fruit, you're getting the natural glucose, which keeps your metabolism kind of going like this, kind of hilly, rather than spiking. And when you spike your metabolism, then you're causing issues with your body and diabetes, and you don't want to do that. So you want to eat the citrus with the pulp, with the membranes. That's really good. The other thing you can do is you want to take vitamin D3. And in our research, what we're learning is that the vitamin C and the vitamin D3 will help push that lead out of your bloodstream. If we can get that out of your bloodstream through nutrition, it'll be a lot better for you, because once it's in your bloodstream, it can go to your bones. And once it's in your bones, then you have another health issue.
Right.
And so Dr. Furman, he's an MD, he did an extensive study on this based out of Washington, D.C. There were some individuals that were exposed to lead, and he happened to be at a medical conference, and he gave a whole lecture on how they treated these individuals. So there is some discipline that needs to be taken place, and it can be done if you're really concerned about it. But the other thing that you have to really, what I feel is really important, is we have to deal with the emotional situation. You know, people are angry, they feel betrayed, but if they don't have their emotions dealt with, if they're not able to vent, then that anger and that disappointment ends up attacking their body. So they have to find a way of venting,
Right.
in a healthy way. And so as weeks go by, we'll probably start talking about some of the things that you can do at home, some of the things that you can do to teach your children to help you cope. But those are 2 great tips
Right.
that are easy to do, and the fruit's abundant right now.
I'm looking at the list. Foods high in calcium help keep lead from being absorbed by the body.
Right.
Calcium helps make teeth and bones strong. So examples are milk, yogurt, tofu, cheese, cheddar, American, and ricotta. Foods made with milk, pudding, macaroni, cheese pizza, cream soup. Green leafy vegetables, collard, spinach, mustard greens, and broccoli. And they call for you to use foods high in calcium and iron and low in fat. You know, some examples: lean meats, beef, chicken, pork, or goat, fish, sardines, and tuna. Cereals, cream of wheat, cereal with added iron, infant cereal with added iron, beans, kidney beans, and black beans, peanut butter, dry fruits, raisins, dates, prunes, and like you were just saying, the vitamin C. These are all important foods to help prevent as well as protect your body, because some of the damaging effects, for example, in children who have become poisoned with lead, it says children are most often poisoned by lead dust and lead paint. And we know in our situation it was the water. And lead poisoning can damage the brain, kidneys, nervous systems, and it can cause learning developments and behavioral problems, but as well as it can cause retardation and
we know
coma. So imagine, and that's one of the things that we're dealing with here. Now that we have awareness that there's this problem and there's been an emergency activated at our city, we have to become proactive and find out the things that are going to help our situations best. And Nancy has it right. You change your diet. You have to think for survival, because that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about 10 to 15 more years of life. I've talked to so many people, Nancy, that have lost loved ones, and they just didn't feel it was their time. But due to unfortunate situations and being misled by the leadership over, the whole Flint River switch was to save money, and it hasn't.
Well, but and that's really sad. But the medical profession itself. They make inventions because people are not taking care of themselves. They're not doing it. And they can. There's all the tools are there. Right. They've always been there. If you're a religious person, there's a religious diet, a biblical diet. There have been people there always with an alternative to nutrition.
Right.
But
and
in this country,
and exercise.
Exactly.
Right,
if everybody stopped eating meat,
right.
Because that's a whole nother issue, and hopefully we'll talk about that. If everybody stopped eating meat, Texas would go bankrupt. If everyone stopped eating cheese and milk and things like that, Wisconsin would go bankrupt.
Right.
And that stuff's terrible for you. It's horrible for you.
Processed food is.
I'm not saying, but you can't take these supplements and then go and eat fast food. That's not going to work.
Right.
If you're disciplined and you want to get well and you want your family to get well, you have to do certain things. And it takes about 30 days for you to get used to any change.
Right. Right.
But we're gonna start teaching some of that stuff, and I think this might be a good time to maybe announce our show.
Right.
Maybe we should just call it the Shayne and Nancy Health Show, and we could do that, and everything will be great. But we can be here all we want. Yeah, and we can be here all we want, but all the information and the expertise that we bring to the public, it really doesn't do us any good if we don't have the action out there. And so that's what we want to do. We want you to become active. We want you to learn the things that you need to learn to get well, because your wellness depends on everything. It depends on your income level. It depends on your livelihood. It depends on your relationships. And nobody wants to be sick. No. And I'm sorry. It makes me cry when I learn about these children and other innocent people that have been affected by this. But let's start letting it go. Right. It's in the hands where it needs to be. I'm not saying forget about it. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying at some point in your time you have to forgive. And it's time to move on because it's best for you. And we want to do that. And so I hope you guys will tune in the future to what we have to say. So we're going to be doing some cooking demos and just some really, really great things as we go along.
It sounds good, and I hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of information. Let us know, and have a great day. Mm-hmm.